This is the subject of this week's vlog. Today is February 3rd, and I'm planning to build one of those things that you put onto your camera and it will rotate it while you're doing a time lapse. I could just go out and buy one, but I thought it would be more fun to build it from scratch. It's kind of a theme that I have in my life. If I can build something, even if I could easily go out and buy something, if I can build it, it's more fun for me, because then it's not only do I get the product at the end, which is totally customized to the way that I want it to work, but I got to have a hand in making it, and I know how it works thoroughly. So since I'm building one of those sort of rotating things, I don't remember what they're actually called, but it hooks onto your tripod and it rotates your camera very, very slowly, like it would be, maybe 180 degrees over the course of an hour or even less. And so I had to sort of come up with an idea of what parts I would need. So obviously the first thing you need a motor. So I have this little stepper motor that I bought. All of this stuff is from eBay. Stepper motor, of course you need a stepper motor controller to do that. So I have a stepper motor controller here. I wanted to control it with an Arduino, but I didn't want the bulk of a full Arduino board. And I didn't want to get a full stepper controller that would be larger, so I'm using an AT-Tiny 85, which is a tiny little Arduino with just 6 I/O pins, and I already soldered the connectors on it. It comes without the connectors soldered on, but I soldered them on because I was doing another project with this. Same with this. This is I need to power it, so this is an 18650 lithium-ion battery. And what I have connected to it here actually is this is a lithium-ion charger board, basically. Make sure that it doesn't heat up, because lithium-ion gets a little picky and it will overheat and explode and stuff if you don't have it hooked up right. So all of these components, obviously I'm going to need some physical structural components, but I think that electronic-wise I can probably get away with doing a whole thing with just these basic components. I have no background in robotics. I have no background in using stepper motors or controllers. I have a little bit of knowledge when it comes to Arduino and doing these kind of things. And I have basic knowledge about electronics and building them myself, but I tend to just sort of use more jelly bean components as opposed to these kind of dedicated ICs, but you know what? It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to take a while. So you're probably, when you watch this video, I probably won't have the beard and I'll look a little different. It's going to be a few months in the future, but yeah, this is the start of this project. Hope you enjoy it. So it's February 4th, and I've had to ramp it up a little bit. I ended up breaking off one of the little connectors on the battery, and I actually don't think the battery is going to drive all of this. I have a 12 volt supply, which I'm just going to plug in. I'm going to try and run this off 12 volts initially. I'll run the Arduino off the battery. Right now I haven't loaded the code into the Arduino. I'm going to do that soon, but I just want to make sure that the stepper controller is all functioning. I'm just going to solder on the new wires onto the battery so that at least I can get the Arduino running on an independent power supply. And yeah, I'm going to see how it goes. It's going to be a definite process. As I said, it's going to take a little while, but I'm hoping to get some good results. It's April 6th, and I don't know the last time that I checked in on video here, but after a lot of tinkering and trying different stepper motors, and now I'm using a full-size Arduino and this tiny little motor driver with a decoupling capacitor and a big power supply, like a benchtop power supply. I've come a long way from the initial setup back, I think it was February that I started this project. And I mean, look, it's not like I'm dedicating all my time on it, and I have lots of other stuff to do. However, I've finally gotten some success. Now, one thing that I should note is I know my way around electronics. This stuff confuses the hell out of me. Programming these Arduino things. And so I was trying to hit it from an electronics point of view, and of course, it doesn't work like that because, anyway, it doesn't. So this part I understand. Anyway, I've finally gotten a working thing. Now what I'm doing, just to sort of keep things clean, is I'm running the Arduino board off an 18650. That's just a charge controller for the 18650. And I'm running a motor off the benchtop power supply, and I think, I'll turn that on and you'll see, actually, it's cool. This will turn, anyway. Finally, I am getting a sweep. Now I'm running this, okay, so it's running at about half an amp and 8.4 volts. So if I wind up the voltage a little bit, it's sweeping! You have no idea how exciting this is for me. Today is April 7th, and it's interesting, when you're working on stuff like this, you always have the big breakthroughs. Like yesterday, I was able to get this Arduino to send the code that I wanted, to the little driver board, and then the driver board to do what I wanted it to do on the motor, which is 2 revolutions clockwise, 1 counterclockwise. Really simple stuff, but for someone like me who doesn't know this, it was a huge accomplishment when I got it working. Now, I wanted to port that programming, and I say port because it is slightly different, where you need the PWM, the pulse width modulated pins and all that, for this to work. So, or at least my understanding of it. I'm sure there will be people in the comments who will know what they're doing and might have a different idea. I finally had a breakthrough. I think I talked about it in the last update, but I was finally able to get the program, it's like a total mess here, to get the program for the panning head time-lapse thing onto an ATtiny 85 in the chip configuration as opposed to the USB-based port. Which is, the board's a little bigger. This is like the smallest form that I can get it down to. And the beauty of it, you can't tell right now because the program I have running is different. You'll see, this is just the controller not knowing what to do. That is the program. It's on this tiny little chip, aptly named the ATtiny. When I plug it in to here, you'll see right now it will. Now it turns on the program. Now, you're not really going to see much right now because the program I've been running and testing on it is one that turns this, a little bit of foam just to have some indication, it turns this 360 degrees in 1 hour. So obviously looking at it right now is, you're not going to get much going there, but it worked. I tested it for a few hours and kept on checking it for accuracy, and it's really good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect, but it's really, really close, which is awesome. This project just keeps on getting bigger. I mean, I initially bought like a battery and a motor and a controller and an Arduino and thought, okay, that's it. I ended up buying, a better soldering iron. I ended up buying a power supply. I got rails upon rails, these, connectors and these connector wires, and it just keeps growing. And I have this other big power supply I use, and more components. And the latest thing that's getting added to this whole setup is this. I realized that now I'm at the stage where the programming is where I want. Obviously, there are kinks to work out, but they're not insurmountable. Like now, I understand how this thing works. So now it gets to actually fabricating the design of this whole thing. I'm going to start with PVC pipe, like PVC water pipe, because I think that's probably going to be the easiest material to work with, plus it's cheap, it's readily available. I can make mistakes and not worry about it, use end caps. It is April 25th, and I have
pretty much all the electronics set up for this project. This is the basic control stuff for the motor. What I've done here for ease of just the whole package, that is the stepper motor controller, that is the Arduino, and I just built this little board. Really craptacular build here, but it's functional, and this little package actually will run the whole stepper motor thing. So now it comes down to fabrication. So this is my setup, and it has grown probably since last time you've seen it. Die grinder, I think that was here in the last video. Power supply, and today planning to use these. These are 3-inch PVC caps. I got a bunch of them because you never know, stuff goes wrong, so why not, right? And they're cheap. I'm going to try and use one of these. These are really, they're really rough tools, and I don't know, I assume it'll cut PVC, because PVC is a light material, but we're yet to find out. So these are like these sawing drill bits. I actually don't know what they're called. Okay. It's sort of straight. This is working like a charm. Wow, that's great. Better than I was expecting, actually. And there we are. I'm finally getting to see. Oh, it's so great. It's so satisfying when you build something yourself. Obviously, it's all components that I sourced and all of that, but you know, I'm building it from basically scratch, and it's great. I love it. It's so much fun. This went so well on the first attempt. I've been able to compact it all into here, and that's before I have the batteries, which will fit no problem. I thought it was going to take me a while to get something that would fit nicely. And I found the solution on the first go, which, I mean, it doesn't generally happen like that, so I now I just have to wait for the batteries. I'm going to work on some way of attaching this in a semi-efficient manner that will work the time being without having to drill through that big nut. That's basically it for this time. Yeah, I'll check in again when I've gotten the 318-650s. Well, that pretty much sums it up. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button, the subscribe, share it with your friends. It's great for the vlog if you guys do that. And tune in next week for some more adventures.